Resplendent, of course, in that green. Just behind us, the social club, where we had former club great Michael Ferrito having a chat to the locals about obviously his long and distinguished career. He'd be pretty pleased at how his Kangaroos are faring as well. As we're underway, Monbulk with the first possession. Wall got a hand in there. It's then tied up, and we will do it again. Progressed a few metres towards the far side wing. Rutherford climbing high, trying to influence that. And a secondary bounce to kick things off. Short in there and gathered about another 5 metres, but unable to have a major influence in the form of a clearance. Forward, it goes into the pocket, close to the boundary, over and a throw in. Boundary throw in. Punched about 20 metres closer to goal, and so far a very tight start as they just feel things out in the early part of this game. Goikoa involved. Quick kick into the middle of the ground. Monbulk will trap it on the bounce. It's going to come back in again via Finlay. Switches it wide. Burley has it just on attacking 50. Chips it inside, just the required distance. And now Hatherty with a difficult kick. Kick from just outside 50, and it's savage hook on that kick. It started sort of between the goalpost and behind post and swung out of bounds on the full. So Tilly will take it in the back pocket. So the early attacking done by Monbulk across 2.5 minutes, but ball in hand for Gembrook. A lot of carry on that kick. Mark not quite held. They've worked it up towards the wing off the ground. Went Werner, couldn't take possession. They try to trap it in low. Bit of support from Aaron Ferrito. We mentioned Michael addressing the troops a moment ago. So we'll have another bounce just backward of the wing. That's a block in the ruck. That'll certainly be a free kick going to Gembrook there. You can see hand pass off. Goikoa goes to centre half forward, no mark taken. Front and centre was Beecroft. It's worked into the middle to Rutherford, dispossessed. Gembrook do well to get it back. Good decision also not to hand pass. Lowe ended up giving it to a player who was under all sorts of pressure, no prior. And we'll have a bounce. Almost a block again in the ruck there. Tilly, who's pushed up into the middle, tried to go off the ground. Monbulk work it forward. There was high contact, but friendly fire, I think. So no free kick. Gets up a little bit sore, but looked like he collided front on with one of his teammates. That's the captain. Gembrook tried to work it forward. Just able to shovel a hand pass out of there. Ferrito was involved. A lot of stoppages. Nice tight start to the game, but Monbulk able to just extract this one at the final moment. Good use of the body. Mark not quite held coming out of there from Hatherty. At the fall, Schultz thumps it long between wing and half forward. Hits the deck, stepping through his Walker. Couldn't take possession. Held up, and we'll have another stoppage just ever so slightly Gembrook's attacking side of the wing. Evans caught behind there, but was able to bring it to ground in that ruck contest. Hand pass coughed up. It comes into the middle of the ground. Wall steps straight into traffic, and the umpire saw it that way. The old zigging when you should zag, and a pretty good, nice start from this young man in the ruck. Been involved in a few contests. Got a free kick earlier and another one there for holding the ball. A good strong tackle. Punched down here about 35 metres from Gembrook's goal. Clearing kick from Monbulk's going to come back. That man again sliding in to take the mark. Gets the hand pass off. Sliding it inside 50. They'll link up by hand on the way out. Thornton down towards the wing position. One way then the other there from Hatherty. Goes towards half forward. It's punched down. Following it up. Good attack there from Wikoa. It's worked down the line underneath the scoreboard. They'll thump it inside to about 45. Caught behind there was Alcott, who kicked a few goals last week. Sliding ball out, mark just inside the field of play. Intercepted. Gets the hurry on now. Good luck marking that in the middle of the pack. They've almost been able to haul that down. Flicked forward there by Trott. Can they just get a bit of space for the kick? Monbulk will clear it, but it's going to come straight back again. Schultz has it on the wing. Has some short options, finds one. Peeling around onto the left, sets it up to about 35. Good spoil, although they've got the numbers at the full. Ferrito couldn't quite take the hand pass on the way through. Goes wider again, outside of the boot. And that looked like it was probably a mark. It was certainly a whistle. Maybe a overall from the umpire suggesting it was touched on the way through. And we end up with a bounce. Monbulk with the clearance. A lot of distance in that kick. Coming out after it is Rutherford on the bounce. He won't quite get there. Well controlled by Schultz. So Monbulk sharing it around by hand. It comes out towards Thornton. Couldn't dispose of it. Outside of the right boot, down towards the hot spot, front position Schultz. Couldn't quite haul it in, and they're able to tie it up for the moment. Stepping through, not quite a trip, was able to keep himself clear of that. Weller at the fall is tied up. Trying to soccer it out of there was Beecroft. Nice clearance here from Gembrook, although the wobbly kick is going to come back in. Shared wide, they've got it at 72 from home. That was an awkward kick hacked out of the air there by Ferrito, down towards a one-on-one in the wing position. Following it up was Weller, who was involved a second ago, and will have another bounce. Little hand pass fed through. Brown got a touch on it. Pushing the back, free kick will go the way of Gembrook. We've been travelling nearly 9 minutes in this game, yet to have a score on the board. Bourne. Kick floats wide on the breeze, and they find a target pushing up in Trott, who takes the mark at about 48. So last time these sides met, it was a little bit tighter. There's 21 points at three-quarter time. It blew out a little bit late. Gembrook make the perfect start here. Trott gets them on the board. 9.5 minutes in, one straight 6 to no score. Been a genuine arm wrestle. We have a half-time score at the MCG, North Melbourne 7-5-47, Carlton 2-7-19, 6 goals, 2 to a point in the second quarter. Good start from Snoxall in the ruck. As we mentioned, he's been relieved here, Shelton taking a turn. Evans having an opportunity there. Ferrito couldn't quite gather it cleanly, and it gives Monbulk a chance to build forward via Wentworth on the far side. Mark almost hauled in there by Hatherty. Free kick to Gembrook there. They chip it in towards Weller. Back edge of the square. Slides it low to centre half back. And they'll send the kick further and find Schultz. Sharing it still backwards of the wing. Kick doesn't, well, clears them out of the mark, but offhand, sort of a goalkeeper parrying it over the bar. It was half a smother. Hewson in there for Monbulk. As we said, Gembrook, despite the 1-8 record, 5 times beaten by a margin of under 2 goals. So they've certainly putting themselves in games. And a strong start here with the opening of the game. Hatherty flicks the little ball down, picked up there by Rutherford. Steps through a hand pass at the toes of a teammate, but it might work out okay. They fly the shot towards goal from Wentworth and they put it through. And they get the immediate answer. 1 straight 6 apiece, having travelled about 12 minutes in the opening term. After probably a 10-minute arm wrestle, we get back-to-back goals in quick time. Back in the middle, Gembrook with the early clearance, sharing it around by, they work it forward. The target of that kick coming out was Shelton, but Monbulk will float it to the far side of the ground. Hand pass shared further afield. Brown straightens up, goes down the line. Nice kick to Rutherford. Rutherford turns straight away, darts the kick low, a little too low. You can see what he was planning to do there. He had a player leading into the pocket. Goikoa, reading it well, cuts it off. In the middle of the ground, low sort of daisy cutter kick, but well marked by Trott, who kicked their opening goal of the game. Had some players streaking forward. Kick had to be good. Contest was strong in the air from Monbulk. They bring it into the middle of the ground. Kick had too much on it for Brown. Opens a door here for Weller. Weller gets the hand pass through. Now they eventually get it onto the boots. Down towards the top of the square via Antorno, but the intercept mark taken about 15 metres from goal. Little slap along the ground, doesn't clear the area. Gembrook, that's definitely a free kick for any number of reasons. Bit of front-on contact, didn't have the ball. It was probably high as well. It all ends up with a Gembrook possession. They float the kick inside 50. So Monbulk's defence controlling things pretty well. That is a risky ball to the top of the square. They should give one away there, although they could have gone boot to ball. Shelton decided to cut back inside. A little bit unselfish there. Antorno could have had the shot. Unselfishly fed it to Shelton, whose first instinct would have been to kick on the left, but tried to cut back onto the right, and very quickly the space was closed down. And he was gone. And speaking of closed down, Arjul, the captain, almost run down there at centre half back. Just got boot to ball. Was able to avoid that calamity. So Barge just had a few possessions in the early part of the game. We'll have another stoppage. There's been plenty of those. 14.5 minutes gone in the opening term. Thanks to Healesville Greyhounds for their support. Lovely clearance here from Monbulk. That's very clean. Goes down towards half forward. Rutherford on the bounce, traps it, breaks the tackle, keeps it in play. 60 out. That's a very nice kick towards the top of the square. Just sits up a little bit too long. They just wouldn't have to break stride ideally, but just that bounce cost them the momentum, cost them a couple of steps. And by then, Gembrook were able to close the gap. Nearly perfect, the execution of that ball from Rutherford to the path of Brown, but not quite. Boundary throw in, 15, 20 metres from goal. Taken out of the ruck here by Monbulk. And a free kick as they're tackled immediately. Wikoa's at a good start. Kicks towards the leading target, nice mark. Snoxall has it, gave the hand pass off straight away. Hugs the boundary and wide out of bounds on the full. Just didn't quite keep it in play. A goal apiece. Shepherd. A few variations on that name playing today. Sets a kick up, it actually lands between a few players. For a moment they keep it alive via wall, but over for a throw-in. Good tackle. Shuffled out of there, and eventually the hand pass fed there by Fater. Outside of the boot. Quick shot at goal there from Wall, who's been pretty busy, probably half a dozen possessions. Misses that one to the right, and there is very much a left to right about. Kicks particularly to that end of the ground. That's the first minor score of the afternoon. As we just do a little bit of a hunt for the footy. Certainly looks like being a fairly hard-fought contest. Not a lot between them in general play. If anything, Gembrook have probably had slightly more territory, but the Monbulk defence have been able to control things pretty well. Been able to get the footy back, so we can resume via Schultz. His defensive goal square to bring the ball back into play for the first time. Plenty of distance on the kick, goes about 60. Snoxall at the back. Brings it to ground by collapsing the pack, taking on the tackles. There was Rack, just got it out before the umpire's whistle, and we'll have a bounce. For Rito. Hand pass out towards the boundary line. Kept alive enough there from Wentworth, probably to avoid an insufficient intent call. Nice little knock on there from Beecroft. Goes to himself, thumps the long kick towards goal, just drifting across the face and through for the second minor score. So assessing the options. Continue to play, good work, solid in the contest to hold the mark at centre half back. Work down towards the half-back flank, over for a throw-in. They'll probably take that. Just good little period of momentum for Monbulk. Gembrook just needing to probably settle things down for a couple of minutes, control the ball, give themselves a chance to compose and maybe get some momentum. They've got possession here. The back, the hand pass, slightly dangerous from Weller back in towards the corridor. It comes out towards Wentworth, their goal scorer, who runs out of room. Tapped close to the boundary. Hand pass doesn't go all that far. Trying to scramble in there at the ball was Evans. And the umpire crosses and calls for a bounce. Hand pass from Evans. Little bit of a nudge cleverly there from Banks, trying to release a player onto it in Wentworth. Another stoppage about 25 metres from goal. Goes out towards the boundary, kept alive here by Gembrook. It's a nice little 1-2 with Ferrito. Got options over the top, feeds it. He won't quite get the third back. Hocus kick smothered now. Ferrito with another possession. Little underground hand pass, goes through some legs. And we'll have another bounce. So we've probably had half a dozen of these repeat stoppages where you get two in quick succession. So they work it forward again. Monbulk, the Hawks via Barge, gets the ball off towards Rack, towards the pocket. And not a bad result in the end for Monbulk, because that landed on the chalk. So it's not, from our vantage point anyway, out of bounds on the full. Looks like that'll be tossed back into play, which gives them a chance to reset. As we said, half-time at the MCG, Kangaroos 28 points to the good of the Blues. The last 6 goals in that game. Of course, Carlton and North Melbourne, both with handy players provided by the Gembrook Football Club historically, or from this region anyway. Simpson and Ferrito, and certainly a lot of rich talent all through this area. Most clubs represented. You know, Warri Alec and various others that have had some AFL exposure. It's worked towards the boundary line. Over for a throw-in. 8 playing 6, 22.5 minutes. So a goal each, been an arm wrestle. Monbulk, you feel in the last few minutes, just eking their way on top in general play. Can they get another shot at goal here? A flying snap near side. One behind from the skipper, Barge. 1-3-9 to 1 straight 6. Nearing 23 minutes. Won't be a super long quarter, given the low nature of the scores. Short kick's okay, Werner. They've got the numbers in the air here. It gets over the back, taken by Tilly, who fed the hand pass through towards Bourne. Coughed up, gathered there by Savoury, goes into the middle of the ground, but they've got a bit of room here. Henderson, although the Shepherd, a little bit too crude there. A bad place to turn the ball over, just as they were streaking forward. So it's going to come back to Bourne. Gets the extra possession. Alcott said 3 goals last week in their barnstorming finish. Sets that up to about 35. So Monbulk at the full. Bit of a fresh area on the kick out, but it's a very good first quarter. Wentworth, he extracts it nicely from that. There is Henderson. Feeds the hand pass out. Long left foot kick into space. Hewson will push down and get there first. Breaks the tackle, slides a good hand pass inboard, slight fumble, but they've got time to gather. Thought about passing it, steadied and kicked the goal. And that's where the left to right proved beneficial for Evans. Just got that little drift. And they get their second in a row. They've had the last 5 scoring shots. And they lead 2-3-15 to 1 straight 6 in the shadows of the quarter time break. 24.5 minutes we've played in this first quarter. As I said, don't anticipate it being a super long one. Trying to feed the hand pass out. They work it okay. Just need a little bit of support. It's upright, all players on the ground around that contest. Tilly trying to push through. Lays a good tackle and we'll have a bounce. Hand pass extracted out of there. Socket off the ground. They weave it through by hand. It comes to Banks. Banks floats his left foot kick forward. It's going to be a free kick there to Heatherly. They thought about taking advantage, but it'll come back. Heatherly will have it. He had a shot from here right at the start of the game, probably an angle that was more severe. Similar distance. Sprayed that one out on the full. This is going to take certainly his best effort. It may well be the last act of the quarter, so probably best served to go back, although some lax checking gives them an option to push in closer to goal. And they find Banks, who delivered it inside 50 a moment ago. Right behind him. Starts it left, won't have the carry, got pretty close. Knocked off hands for a rush behind. 2-4-16. Plays one straight 6. 10-point advantage. How about that? An early highlight from Tilly, climbing high, takes a beauty. Drives it long. Down towards half forward, flashing through there was Shelton. Good pressure. Towards half forward. Brought to ground. We'll have another bounce. Flicked over the back, Monbulk looking to build one more time, or it might be Gembrook on that turnover as they go low inside 50, too low. Fell short of the target in trot. The intercept mark came. Monbulk quickly on the counter, up towards the wing position, Brown. Goes on the left, floats the kick forward. No mark taken there by Wall. And it's helped over for a throw-in as the siren sounds to end the opening term that started tight. Monbulk, though, with some ominous signs late in the quarter. They had the last 6 scoring shots and probably 9 of the last 10 inside 50s to the eye. And they didn't put them away, though, so that's the benefit for Gembrook, staying in the contest. One straight 6 to 2-4-16. 10 points is the margin at the first change. Goal kickers for Monbulk, Wentworth and Evans. And it was Trott that got Gembrook's goal, which was the first goal of the game. Took about 10 minutes to come. But from there, the game did open up a little bit, which worked, at least to this early stage, to Monbulk's advantage. We're here for Hillsville Greyhounds. We'll run through our major sponsors throughout the course of the game and our key awards. But contact Game Face Vision if you want to get your games streamed, be it milestones, women's footy, finals, whatever it may be. Just reach out and can get you sorted. A break from Gembrook, 10-point lead to the visitors. We sweep. So Gembrook quickly out of the middle, work their way forward and get an opportunity via Alcott from that. So certainly needing to start the second quarter with a bit of flow after the way that first quarter ended. Tricky kick, the breeze swirling around a little bit. All of the action on the Petter's suspension and brakes scoreboard as they look for their second goal. It'll be their second scoring shot as well, putting that up on the breeze. Starts left, and they have been working back from there today, but not quite enough. 1-1-7 plays 2-4-16. We'll give you, when we get a chance, around the ground scores from the other Outer East games. We're underway in the second half at the MCG. North Melbourne lead Carlton by 34 points. Been in control of that game since quarter time. Nice long ball there from Hoare down towards the wing position. Gembrook had a 2-on-1 and they win it in the air. Good mark. This guy's played all right. Tilly started the game quite well and has built nicely through the gears. Sets that kick up to a dangerous position. At the fall, Shepherd tried to feed the hand pass out. It's going to come back though, Gembrook. They stop and prop kick. They should get a mark there. It goes through the fingers of Shelton. Stays in play for the moment. And Bourne appealing for a little bit of a nudge there, but over for a throw-in. So we'll give you, as we say, the Outer East scores from both divisions. We get a decent run at a stoppage. Healesville 5-2-32 lead Upwey Tacoma 1-2-8. Warrialic 5-1-31 leading Emerald yet to score. Alinda Ferny Creek 8-3-51 over Officer 1-1-7. And Wandon 5-4-34 over Mount Evelyn 2-2-14. As we trickle towards the boundary down there, we'll look at the other division when we get a chance. Live matches there in a moment. Boundary throw-in on 50. Gembrook trailing by 9 points. Evans takes it out of the ruck, gives it to Beecroft, who goes forward, off hands and over. Pakenham 7-1-43 lead Yea 3-1-19. Pakenham up a good win last week. Warburton 4-2-26 lead Belgrave 3-3-21. Seville 8 straight 48 over Yarra Glen 4-3-27. And a night game tonight, Yarra Junction versus Powelltown, 6 o'clock start for that. Alexandra with the bye. Ball is on the wing. 3 and a bit minutes have travelled through this quarter so far. Worked forward here by Monbulk, charging towards goal when they get through for their third, their first of the second term. And just a quick break after a little bit of an arm wrestle, quick as a flash, they roll it from the wing to about 40 and they get the goal to push it out to a 15-point advantage starting this second term effectively. Spencer involved. And just at the moment, perhaps, that potency looking to be the key difference between the two sides, that when Monbulk have the footy, they're just capable at this point of doing a little bit more damage than perhaps their Gembrook counterparts are to this stage. Gembrook, a little bit of a hold on the jumper, play on's the call. Tries to feed it back to Tilly, who worked pretty well in a confined space. Just got the hand pass past the outstretched hands. Goikoa goes to half forward. They mark it a couple of kicks from goal. Busaka receives that mark, gives the hand pass off quickly. Drives it forward and Savoury takes the mark. Sends his left foot kick out. It's well weighted, although it just kept drifting on the breeze past Brown. Picked up and kept alive with a nice little kick around the body there from Banks, who's done some good things in this game. Brings it centrally and finds Thornton. Thornton called to play on. Play on he does. Goes to centre half forward, taken here by Wall. Wall goes to a leading target. Good use of the body there from Hatherty to get rid of his opponent. Will drive towards goal. It's a nice looking kick, just touched right on the line. Almost timed that beautifully. Didn't try to punch it through, just sort of sat it up and wanted the wind to do the work. 3-5-23 plays 1-1-7 in this, the second term. Thanks to our game day sponsors, Rochford Winery, Project Gap, MS Security, SSA Sports, and of course the Bendigo Bank. Gembrook have quickly worked it beyond the halfway. The kick wasn't great. They had the numbers, but Banks gets a touch on there. Also involved was Finlay. It's a risky ball into the middle of the ground. Well controlled, though, by Thornton. Just lost his footing, and then the cavalry arrives from Gembrook to tie it up. But a fairly well umpired game. We haven't had a stack of free kicks paid. They have let things go. It's been fairly competitive, a lot of contests. Those games can be impacted if they're a bit whistle happy, but it's been well done so far. Quick kick up towards the wing. Little fumble there from Werner. He got a bit of support when he needed it, although that support turned into traffic, and that is most definitely holding the ball against Schultz. Floating kick forward works all right. Hatherley again. Tries to find a target, but Gembrook had the numbers and read it well to take the mark. Quick kick in the Tilly direction. She's got to wait for it. Takes a good grab. Feeds it quickly by hand. That's a neat-looking kick. The idea was okay. There was just a little bit of support there. Trot. Hand pass. Just asked a little bit too much there of Fater, who had to just prop for a second. Evans couldn't quite get a run at the football. Mazaka hands in close. Gembrook did that pretty nicely out to Ferrito. Had an option by hand, ran around, decided to kick it on the left instead. Almost pulling in a one-hander was Shepherd. Goes and gets the ball in any case. They flick it forward. Gembrook should be able to turn this back around with numbers. But Monbulk persisting. It's good effort down there from Aaron Hoare amongst others, just to hold it up. Around the grounds at the MCG, North Melbourne 10-5-65, Carlton 4-7-31, 34 points as it was at halftime in that game. Handball fed back. Fater was there. Well trapped by Beecroft, goes down the line and finds Wentworth, who's probably the best player on the ground in the first quarter. Gets it off towards the captain there in Barge, goes long towards the top of the square. Excellent defence there from Gembrook on the last line. Schultz under pressure, just got the hand pass away. They're still under the pump, but they're able to tie it up momentarily. Good atmosphere here, got all the Gembrook kids in the junior jumpers. We're going to have a kick at half-time. A couple of fires going. Plenty of dogs around. The quick snap out of the pack from Monbulk is a behind. Right all the way off the boot. 3-6 plays 1-1. Gembrook needing one just to steady here. It certainly runs the risk of creeping away from them. 9 scoring shots to 2, but they've had 9 of the last 10. It's an awkward-looking kick. Banks should mark that, although they are just swirling a little bit down there, which is making it harder. Barge gets it off towards Finlay. Got the kick away to Burley. A couple of options wide. One of those is Thornton. Thornton kicks to the leading target. Hatherley traps it. Back onto his right, then decides to hand pass. And just a fumble cost Gembrook a chance to, or cost Monbulk a chance to straighten up for goal there. Taken out by Jesse Pantorno. Banks it down towards the wing position. Veets there, it stays alive. Only for the moment, and eventually over for a throw-in. So Monbulk 5-4. 5th on the table, looking to win a 4th game in 5 weeks. Percentage pretty healthy. Can certainly look towards influencing a finals campaign. Gembrook not out of it yet, and as we said, they've had a propensity to be competitive. Last week they were 50 points down at 3/4 time and almost got back within single figures. Some decent players away, of course. That one went well out in the full. It's bounced down past the electronic scoreboard towards my car. 11 minutes, second term. 3-6 plays at 1-1 in this term. 1 goal, 2 are behind. Make sure to check out Aidan and Steph on the OEFN Footy Show on the league's Facebook page every Friday at 5 p.m. Always plenty to talk about in the world of Outer East. Took them a while to get that footy back. Goes back towards the boundary line. Monbulk keep it alive. That's very, very high down the line. Weller judged it very well. Took a good mark. Difficult with the swirling ball. Risky kick into the middle of the ground, but well marked again here by Michael Bourne. They've certainly been prepared to bite off those kicks into dangerous positions. They run through the middle. They thump it up towards attacking 50. A little bit of a nudge there, and the umpire's paid it. And that will almost be a 50-metre penalty. Hudson Jenner, it was definitely 2 actions. It wasn't the biggest push you've ever seen, but definitely 2 actions. And free kick goes against Veet there. And Jenner with an important kick. It's a very similar spot to where Alcott had the opening shot of this quarter. He didn't miss that one by much, but they need to take one of these chances, keep themselves in touch on the scoreboard. It's only 17 points, and that only reduces it by the 1. 1-2-8 to 3-6-24, 12 and a half minutes. Roughly halfway through this second term. Shepherd gets a little 1-2 on the kick-in, shares it with Savoury, then goes down towards the wing. It goes over the pack and bounces over for a throw-in. Good sunny conditions for footy, but certainly the wind swirly. Having a bit of an influence on kicks. You can't see the trees moving too much, but quick snap, trying to pull that out of the air with one hand there was Wentworth. It stays alive for Monbulk. They gain about 10 metres on the hand pass. And then it'll be thrown in half-forward flank. Monbulk's end of the ground. They've kicked the last 3 goals of the game, having given up the first. Pressure on Gembrook to try to stay in touch. Wentworth, low darting kick inside 50 mark, not quite hung on to. Fighting gamely, Gembrook. It's bounced down towards Trey Pantorno on the wing. They get some reinforcements in the form of Weller. And they've turned half back into half forward there and got a stoppage probably 70 metres from their goal. At the MCG, Kangaroos on top there, 39 points up on the Blues. Inside 50 mark taken by Savoury. Goes to the left foot wobbly kick. Didn't spin superbly, taken by Brown. Brown goes down the line to grabber, but a mark all the same here. Taken by Spencer. Goes to Burley. Burley back towards the wing position, Brown. Brown drives the kick down the line. Trapping at Beecroft there in the front and centre, although only momentarily. Lost it, hand pass, he's coughed up though. Gembrook win it back though. Nice play in tight. Now off a step they kick. They've got some options in the air. Nice work there from Jenner to dispossess his opponent and try to create some space, but Monbulk were up to the task. The captain here, Barge, concedes a bit of territory, goes back safely to the top of the goal square and finds Henderson. Wider he goes to Burley on the far side. Good hard running from him. He was contesting on this wing a moment ago. Taken by Hatherley, pushing up the grounds. Back to Barge. Marks back edge of the square. Now good hard running Shepherd off the line. Marks it in the wing position, then plays on. Floats a bit of a helicopter ball, but it's okay for Brown. Gains another 10 metres or so. And they've got an option. It's going to be a difficult kick for goal, but Wall has it. Probably 52 metres out by the time he kicks. Certainly looking like he's going to take on that challenge. Starts it right. It's going to land in the square. Punch to ground. Hand pass out. Doesn't go all that far. The Pack descends on it and we'll have a bounce. 16 and a half minutes, second term. 16 points is the margin. Little kick off a step there from Burley, almost a standing start. Just saw someone out of the corner of his eye and had to kick quickly and did. Found the target. And again, it's a tough kick. The man on the mark is actually 55 metres from goal, so you're going to have to kick this every bit of 60. Breeze is giving some assistance, but take a very good effort from that range. Sets it up. It's going to land a couple of metres short. Stays in the field of play. Kick smothered as Monbulk tried to jag one towards goal. It's toe poke back towards the square. Still in a dangerous position. Quick kick's going to come back. That's a good effort from Burley there. Stuck the boot out and just propelled himself into the footy and took a nice mark. In fact, it's Barge. The skipper did it really well. We'll kick from about 45. Looks okay. Through it goes. Good reward for a strong mark. And steadies them even further now as they start to get a little bit of scoreboard reward for the control they've had. 4-6-30 plays 1-2-8. 18 and a half minutes have elapsed in this, the second term. 2 goals, 2 to 2 behinds in this quarter. So Gembrook with a badly needed clearance. Snoxel sends them long. They need to get a mark inside 50. They don't. The intercept ball very well held. Hall goes with that left foot kick. It hung in the air a while. Gave a good look to the Gembrook players to come across. Boundary throw in on attacking 50. Bit of a shallow throw in. Kept alive. Good hand pass in. Weller accelerates through. Drives the kick inside 50. One-on-one contest. Lesky punching it to ground. And we'll have another throw in just inside attacking 50 for Gembrook as we're about to hit time on. Just in need of 1 or 2 before half-time just to ease back in. So they haven't been blown away on the scoreboard. It's been a gradual movement from Monbulk to slowly pull away. And these sides met back in round 1. It was 34 scoring shots to 11. It's 10-3 in this game. So on the season, 44-14. So it shows they have had their measure, but not necessarily putting them away. So Gembrook have shown a bit of character in recent weeks and a tendency to claw their way back. Lovely work in the phone box there from Fater. Gets it towards Ferrito. Ferrito on the left. Curls it back towards the top of the square. Trot got one hand to it, couldn't haul it in, and it works over the boundary line. Tapped down there by Shelton. It's one out by Monbulk towards the boundary. And it'll be thrown in. Snoxall trying to contest the ruck, but was caught behind, and we'll have another stoppage here. 21.5 minutes. So probably a handful of minutes left in the quarter, based on what we saw in the first. Gembrook building, comes out to Tilly, concedes a bit of ground. Hand pass goes forward again. Now the kick-off a standing start. Trot pushing back, makes a good contest, brings it to ground. Close and over for a throw-in. Can they make something from this? Limited chances, you would think, late in the quarter. Long kick towards goal is good. And they take the chance. Vader did it nicely. And that's a badly needed goal at the 22.5 minute mark of the term. They've had a couple of looks. The momentum in the last few minutes has probably been with them. And it just had to translate into something on the board. Vader gives them that goal. 2-2-14, plays 4-6-30. Scoreboard tightens up. If they go in within 3 goals, and they've done a pretty reasonable job staying in touch, given Monbulk have looked pretty solid throughout at Monbulk with the clearance here. So Gembrook work it out towards the forward flank. So Monbulk have it about 55 from goal, trying to hit up someone in the pocket, well read in defence. The intercept marking has been a feature of both of these teams. So ball parrying around in the middle. Gembrook, important ball to be won. It comes out here towards Wello, who's been pretty solid. They break one tackle via Ferrito, hand pass through towards Shelton. So Monbulk through the middle, low darting left foot kick. It's a nice kick towards the lead. Had to get the hands out in front there, did Hatherley. Tried to mark it on the chest and the opponent was too close. Osaka there. They've got it forward quickly here. A little bit of a falcon. Gembrook still pushing. Towards the top of the square, no mark taken. Evans just pushes his teammate out of the way, gathers. They turn back into trouble. Banks got himself into a bit of a mess, and the umpire calls for a bounce. Was very close. Very close in terms of potential prior. 25.5 minutes into the quarter. Potentially a block in the ruck there on Oikoa. Monbulk will take it away. Beecroft's wobbly kick goes over for a throw-in. North by 46 points over Carlton. Probably got that in the book. Latter stages of the first half here. Good tackle, giving them no chance there. Tilly doing all the little things pretty well. Trying to hack it out of the air. The pressure was good though from Spencer just to close down that space. Getting up, Evans in the tackle, just wrestled his way clear. Kick was smothered but went about 15 metres off the deflection, and we'll have another bounce. Nice hands back. Quick shovelled kick forward there from Finlay. On the bounce, the hand pass comes back. Partially smothered kick for Rito. Feeds it through towards Walker. They gain some valuable metres. I'll just hack it towards half forward. Tunnel ball through everybody. It now becomes a foot race. What was there? If they can work it forward, they've got a couple of options here. Can they shovel it back via trot? Quick kick down towards the top of the square. Monbulk with all the numbers. Well read there by Savoury, who pushed back to cover the dangerous area. Trot might have been caught high. I think the non-controlling umpire has spotted that. And given he's still feeling the effects at the foot of that contest, it's hard to argue. .28-minute mark. And it will be the final play of the term. Trot has one goal in the first quarter. This will take a pretty good kick. Man on the mark standing right on the paint of 50. He'll kick from probably on the paint of the edge of the centre square. Got underneath that, not quite going to have the carry. And it almost bounced through. It got through the initial contest. And they had reinforcements back on the line. So at half-time, still got a contest on our hands. It looked like Monbulk were getting away, but 16 points at the main break. 4-6-30 to Gembrook Cockatoo. 2-2-14 at the end of the second term. Goals to Monbulk to Wentworth, Barge, Evans and Spencer. And for Gembrook, it's Trot and Fater that have their majors at this stage. We'll take a break. All here for Game Face. You can contact Game Face Vision if you want to have your game filmed. And, of course, a big thank you to all of our sponsors, and check out the action on the local footy hub. More to come from Gembrook. Cool. Ready to go second half. Gembrook Cockatoo with the last goal of the second term to give themselves a bit of hope. And now a clearance and almost a hanger at the top of the square. Monbulk with a clearing kick out finds its way to Brown. Mark not held a little untidy on the way out. The hand pass gives him a little bit of a chance to streak towards goal. It straightens up and it's through. From Goikawa, that's two in a row. That's one before halftime, one after halftime. And they take the first strike of the second half. And all of a sudden it is only a 10-point affair. Big margins across the competition. We'll give you those around the ground scores as we stand at present. Healesville, 42 points up on Upway Tacoma, 10-3 to 3-3. Warriellic, 10-4, lead Emerald 2-1 by 51 points. Alinda Ferny Creek, 39 points up on Officer. And Wandon, 50 points up on Mount Evelyn. North Melbourne, 40 points up on Carlton as well in that contest, as Gembrook straight inside 50 take the mark. So we've only been travelling probably a minute and 20 seconds. The clock wasn't actually ticking on the scoreboard until that last centre bounce, so you probably add about a minute to that. But Jenna, who had a shot at goal in the second quarter, could all of a sudden, in the blink of an eye, put them within a kick. 22 became 16, which became 10, and now 4. 3 goals in a row. And it's 4-2-26 to 4-6-30, just like that. It is well and truly game on. Well, it's fair to say that would have been probably an unexpected turn of events, given what we did witness through that most of the first half, where they looked like they were going to struggle to generate scoring opportunities despite their commitment to the contest and reasonably solid level of football. But game alive. Pressure back on Monbulk here. We've seen what happens when Gembrook can gain momentum. Can they quickly snaffle their way to the front here? They've launched it out of the middle again. Can they get another mark inside 50? Monbulk this time can hold things up. Short kick, not particularly tidy. Spencer has plenty of time though. Goes towards Henderson, takes it on the bounce. Has to feed it back by hand. Neat kick. Gives them a decent chance. Beecroft just about a free kick for being held. Goes back in after it again. Plenty of options by hand. Probably chose the wrong one. Player under all sorts of pressure. And the ball will be bounced. Now that comes good attack on the ball from Tilly. Just shoveling it over his head. Almost a throw there. Was Banks. Now Ferrito's kick comes to a full-chested Jenner. Goes towards a leading target at the top of the square. Almost a catch, but the mark is taken. I don't think that was the target of the kick. But it's going to work anyway. And at the moment, they're doing just about everything right. This for the lead from 20 metres out. And they've got it there. What about this for a turnaround in fortunes? (5-2-32), Snoxville with the goal. 4-6-30. Monbulk, 4 goals in a row, 3 in this quarter in very quick time. And Gembrook hold the lead. And they launch out of the middle again. And he kicked the goal for them in Fader in that quarter. They go inside 50. Henderson under pressure, puts it on his left boot, snaps it out towards the boundary. They'll charge after it there, Thornton, but keep that in play. So 3 goals inside 5 and a bit minutes in the quarter. So the clock says 4.5 on the scoreboard, but didn't start until after the first goal was kicked. Obviously the timekeepers will know exactly where it's at. Good hands, Henderson giving them a bit of a lift in this quarter now. Monbulk forward, that's a free kick or a mark. They paid the free kick, hence the advantage. Chipped into the middle. It's a good kick here to Walker. Sets it up wide, not particularly well directed. It doesn't actually go out. Eventually it does. Well, there were a couple of players who weren't enormously interested in that, and it remained alive. Okoa, who kicked the first goal, second goal of the quarter, gets involved. Hand pass back's cut off. Umpire calling play on. Weller tries to get that one through towards Werner. Good work by Tilly. Good aggression. And the umpires paid the high fend-off free kick. Just a little bit too high, getting that arm up. Trying to work that down was Schultz from behind. Quick kick forward from Monbulk down towards the top of the square. We've seen Shepherd go forward here, having spent most of the first half in defence. Awkward looking kick. It's the ground. There's still a chance. Taken there by Oikoa. Now Walker. Ferrito gives a little bit of a nudge. Didn't quite get rid of his opponent. Goes back in after the footy and gets it. Just gets the hand pass away. Good play coming through there from Rake. Worked forward by hand. A low ball, but one back by Monbulk. They'll go down towards centre half forward. One-on-one contest. About 50 from goal. Schultz trying to influence it. Jenner's gone back behind the footy, having kicked the goal in this quarter. He soccers that one off the ground, out towards the half-back flank. Quick delivery back in. They've got a 5-on-2 here, Gembrook. And the umpire looked like he was thinking about penalising him for diving on it, but opted against it. And we'll have another bounce 7.5 minutes into the third term. Lovely work at the fall of the ball there. Bouncing straight back up was Spencer. It comes out here towards Brown. Fed around towards the top. It was Burley now to Brown, and Brown snaps and misses. Just to the right-hand side. 4-7 plays 5-2. First score of the second half for Monbulk, who find themselves behind for the first time since the 10-minute mark of the opening term. It has been all Gembrook in this third quarter so far. Long kick down to the middle of the ground. Great mark taken by Shepherd. Eyes on it all the way, floating across. Takes the grab. High kick to about 45. Pack split. Leaves Wentworth on the ground. Hand pass a bit untidy towards Brown. Brown will go on the outside of the boot. Top of the square. Clears the pack. It was Houston that was down there. And over for another throw-in. I was like, oh man, I don't want to open this. Tap back gains about 15 metres for Gembrook. Picked up by Lesky. Goes down towards the wing. It swirled in the air and went out of bounds on the full, which will give them a chance to reload. So reload they do, but Tilly read it clearly better than everyone else. Charges back and takes the mark. Contest up the ground. Luxall takes a good grab. Long ball down towards the electronic scoreboard. No mark taken. Burley at the back. Dinky little kick down the line, finds a target. Monbulk under the pump, but it's within a point as it's turned over again. Now taking the mark is Bourne. Risky kick, but that's okay. Schultz. Sliding the kick down the line, that works out okay. So Monbulk switching across their defensive 50. Kick would have to be good. Brown pumps the legs after it and takes a good mark. Up towards the wing, good pressure. Interesting call from the umpire, deeming that was no prior. Schultz involved. They then took on the tackle, and umpire again calling play on there. Felt that the hand pass was sufficient. Banks goes in towards the skipper, Barge, who thumps it long. One-on-one's in the square. Gets over the back. A bounce. Beecroft almost getting the desired off break. So it's here with Osaka in that back pocket. Monbulk will send it back in. Commitment coming across for the spoil, but didn't quite get there in time. Missed by a whisker. So Monbulk with scores level can load up again. Still just slightly too far out to score. Now the umpire's deeming that it was touched. It's hauled down in the square. Certainly looked like there were several sets of hands on the ball. Scores level just beyond the halfway point of the quarter. North by 24 points over Carlton, but only 2 minutes to go. So they will win that game. It comes out, snap over the shoulder, just bending too far there from Spencer, who kicked the goal in the opening term. Generally, those kicks have been holding up in the breeze a little bit and drifting through, but that one curling across the face. 4-9 plays 5-2, restores Monbulk's lead, but only by the 1 point. Certainly the close one of the round. It's shaping to be at this stage. Gembrook, a lot of character last week, as we said, but Monbulk in a really good vein of form. Looking for 4 wins in 5 matches today. A block in the ruck, and it's a Monbulk free kick. He's played a pretty good game today as Campbell Evans. Darting kick doesn't clear the player on the mark. Goes back towards Jenner, who's blindsided, trying to sell the candy and go into the middle of the ground. Got rid of one tackle, didn't know the other was coming. We've had tempers bubbling over the last few minutes, and run-down tackle. Some words exchanged, and Wentworth to line up for goal. So it's a downfield free kick. So the non-controlling umpire will drag them down to the top of the square. So working out whether it's a 50-metre penalty or a down-the-ground free kick. Either way, it's a goal, and Wentworth becomes the first multiple goal scorer in the game. 5-9-39 plays 5-2-32, and I heard Gembrook players out on the ground there saying don't fall for it. And that's what's happened there. Just got sucked in a little bit to some of the niggle. Tilly thumps it long inside 50, no mark. Front and centre, Jenner gets it through towards Trott, whose kick was smothered. Gembrook with plenty of time here. If the hand pass just sat for Pantorno, it didn't. They were very close to being able to shoot for goal. Great work from Bourne to get across and get a hand on it. A couple of players leave it for each other, and Monbulk just walks straight through. Hand pass cut off, though. Nice play, though, by Jesse Pantorno. Kick concedes a little bit of ground. Werner. Now the umpire, I think the whistle had a head clash between those two. Now that was a mark from our vantage point to Gembrook just before that whistle was blown, so they're a little bit unlucky here to have this deemed a bounce. Usually that's what happens when the umpire stops play. However, if you've clearly got the ball in that situation, it is a pretty harsh call. 7-point lead to Monbulk. Kick smothered, trying to wrestle his way through. There was Koa unable to do so, and we'll have a bounce. So another stoppage. Gembrook work it slightly closer to their goal. That's a big hit, bumped over the boundary line near the fence, and a bit of angst in that. Now the umpire coming in trying to take some control by paying a free kick. There's been some timbers bubbling over, but Gembrook have worked their way into the game and need to be careful not to let that little momentum slip by giving away a couple. So Wentworth with the free kick after Hatherley going into the fence, unable to take the kick. We've got another skirmish about 50, 60 metres off the ball. I'll say Gembrook would want to be a bit careful here. Short kick, finds a teammate there in Burley. So only about 5 or 6 players behind this contest. Everyone in front of him and inside 50. Sets it up, they fly at the back. It's knocked off hands and over for a throw-in. Three straight to 1-3 in this quarter. Gembrook's 3 goals coming in a burst to give them the lead. Monbulk wrestling that advantage back, 7-point lead. North Melbourne holding off a fast finishing Carlton to win by 11 points at the MCG, their 4th win of the season. Quick give out of there was good. Out of the middle of the ground, mark not taken there from Monbulk. They've got the numbers, Gembrook at the full, but now it's where the kick goes next as Alcott paddles it forward. Jumper was held on to. A free kick paid. Now it does allow them a chance to get some players inside 50. Had they have one possession, there was no one to give it to.
25!
Alcott sets it up. Packers flying for the ball down there. Good pressure put on from Walker. The squeeze kick will come back to where it started. Alcott, good vision. Brings it inboard. That was going to be a free kick relayed anyway. Weller kick to half forward. Mark taken. They try to move it on quickly. Mark not held at the back. It hits some hands on the way through and we'll have a bounce 35 metres from goal. Can Gembrook snag another? Going up there was Shelton. And the umpires paid a free kick in the ruck contest. And it's gone to Gembrook. So the umpire's trying to take control. They've been paying free kicks at the slightest hint of anything untoward. Christopher Bourne with the free kick. So they kick 3 from 3 on their chances in the third quarter. Directly in front. Heads out to the right and one behind. So their first miss of the quarter. 5-3 plays 5-9. Shepherd, who briefly went forward back in defence to take his kicking responsibilities. Long kick out, getting hands to the ball was Fater, couldn't hold on to it. Tilly pushing up to this contest. Certainly a useful combatant for them, almost unopposed in the ruck was Evans. Gembrook sharked it and we'll have a bounce. 1 goal, the difference, 6 points, 39 plays 33. Tilly, good vision by hands towards Cockatoo. Quickly onto the boot. Made good purchase on that and finds a target. Good delivery. Shelton takes the mark. It's just willing it forward. So Shelton, who's taken his turns in the ruck throughout the course of the day, now forward. Important kick. Looks okay. Will it hold the line? It's just drifting right and one behind. So back-to-back behinds for Gembrook. They close it to a 5-point game. 5-4-34 to 5-9-39. Down towards the wing. It's good delivery. They've shot it up towards Burley, who can straighten up, kick towards an open forward line. Underneath it there is Spencer. Stayed upright, tried to go off the ground, and it's worked towards the boundary line. 25 minutes, third term. Hand pass releases Weller through the middle of the ground. Kick has to be good, and it is. Finds Alcott, goes down the line. They've got the height advantage at half forward. Couldn't quite haul in the mark. Brown got there, lent a hand, kicks a shocker. Tilly takes the mark. Tries to hit up centre half forward, lands it between two teammates, and Thornton takes it. Goes to Evans. He's got Burley free, finds him. A couple of options short that are quickly taken care of. Get some support here from Beecroft, who takes the mark. Still just outside 50. Short to the pocket, and the mark is held. Thornton intercepted it in the middle, and now might be able to finish it. Lining it up. Starts it right, and it'll push across the face and land just out on the full. Tilly. Short. Finds Fater, who kicked the goal late in the second quarter that sort of sparked the rally a little bit. A lot of contests up on the wing. Knoxall couldn't take the mark. Comes out here towards Jenner. It'll stay in play. A pretty kind bounce. Alcott's at a busy third quarter. Kicks to one-on-ones inside 50. They bring it to ground. Can they get the support here? They're going to get a free kick. And it will be the last act of the term. And 50. Just going to make a certainty of it as Bourne will be marched all the way to the line.
50 metres on discipline play.
So to hit the front. We've had a couple of 50-metre penalties paid through this quarter at both ends of the ground. And it's steered through, and they will lead at three-quarter time. 4 goals 2 to 1 goal 3 in the quarter. Turns a 16-point deficit into a 1-point lead heading into the last change. Snoxall, Trott, Bourne, Goikoa, Fater and Jenner the goal scorers. And for Monbulk, 2 to Wentworth, including their goal in that term. Barge, Evans and Spencer with the Miners. 1 quarter to play. Gembrook eyeing off their second win of the season, and Monbulk a crucial game for them in terms of their finals chances. A break, plenty more to come from Gembrook. Massive last quarter in this round 10 Outer East clash. Close game between Belgrave and Warburton, just 11 points the difference there. That would be a decent turn up. Seville leading Yarra Glen by 24 points, and there's a night match starting at 6 o'clock this evening at Yarra Junction as Monbulk win the ball forward. A chance to put some early pressure on, having lost the lead after the three-quarter time siren. Ball to be bounced basically on attacking 50. Weller trying to toe poke it clear of traffic. Couldn't quite get it out of there, and we'll have it bounced once more. Evans trying to win the tap. Good aggressive bump off the footy to clear a path. They snap it down towards the top of the square. It's spiked closer to the boundary. Hatherley, who had that collision with the fence maybe 5 minutes before three-quarter time, back out there. Evans trying to guide it down. Stepping through there is Thornton to the top of the square. Picked up, jagged off the outside of the boot from Wall. Second behind for him. And the scores are level with that. 5-10-40 plays 6-4-40. Contest up on the wing. They work it over the line for a throw-in. Basically smack bang on the wing. And we'll have another stoppage. 2.5 minutes last term, about 25 minutes to separate these two sides. We mentioned Gembrook with losses by 1, 2, 7, 9 and 11 this season. So 5 times beaten by less than 2 goals. So they've been in so many matches, and they're in another one here. Comes through towards Busaka. Dinky kick towards the pocket. It's a 3-on-1, but Jenna's done pretty well there to keep it alive. Try to jag. The kick back goes out of bounds on the full. In the end, might have been best served to have that go over for a throw-in. Shepherd's free kick. Played a pretty nice game. Monbulk 5-4 coming into this. 3 wins from their last 4 matches, including an 80-point win last week. Good grab by Banks. Now the umpires come in here and he said he's gone off the line. Just pulls the kick short. Finds Veet. Veet floats it in the air, that's okay. Gets to its intended target in Thornton. Has a switch option. Breaking down there. Savoury goes to his left. Wobbles a kick out towards Evans. Traps it on the bounce. Down the line, looking for... Maybe getting in the way was Werner. Hands to it, brought it to ground, and we'll have a bounce or boundary throw in. It just trickles over. Scores level 4.25 minutes. Gembrook kicked the first goal of the game and led for about 90 seconds. They hit the front early in the third quarter and led for about a minute. And then led for the duration of the three-quarter time break. And it's been all Monbulk apart from that. Monbulk's lead was as high as 22 points late in the second term, 4-6 to 1-2. Taken out of the ruck. Not sure about the hand pass, but was given the all clear. Kicks off a step, Brown to about 50. No mark taken. Taken out of the ruck by Evans, got rid of his opponent, thumps it towards goal. It's going to drift back and it just misses, bouncing into the post. 1 goal, 1 for Campbell Evans, and they lead by that 5-11-41 to 6-4-40. Tilly and Bourne the targets. Bourne takes the mark. They move it now beyond halfway. One-on-one's inside 50. Jenner caught behind his opponent, penalised the push. In fact, the free kick's actually down the ground. So it looked like he'd been penalised in the marking contest, but it appears they paid a down-the-ground free kick. In fact, now the umpire, I think, realised he put the arm out the wrong way, so it is indeed a free kick to Shepherd. Goes back to the top of the square to Henderson. Short ball to Hewson. Short again to Thornton. And now they go long down to the wing position where Burley gets into some space and marks. Off hands. Didn't quite get back far enough off the line. Boundary throw in. Nearly 7 minutes. Just the two behinds in this quarter, both to Monbulk. Quick kick forward, knocked down there by Wentworth, who's got a couple of goals to his name. Burrows in after it, picks it up, feeds the hand pass back to Burley. Snap down towards attacking 50, well trapped. And the ball just jags away from Spencer, who came to lend a hand. Back to Wentworth, a little bit too much on it, and the mark taken by Schultz. Schultz to Weller. Long to the wing. Mark not quite hauled in. They just need some support for Tilly down there, who went back after it, but all the numbers around him were in Monbulk jumpers. Important, each of these little clearances. Gembrook won it, but the handball was smothered. So now Monbulk can attack once again. Awkward one for the defence, and now a crucial smother. Opens a door for them potentially to run into the open goal on the left, and they've got it. Beecroft gets an important goal, and what a crucial smother that was. First goal of the last quarter. Monbulk lead it by 7, 6-11-47. Gembrook 6-4-40, 8.5 minutes. So back in the middle, nil-all draw in the ruck with the two players effectively just grappling each other in there. So we'll do it again. Gembrook in need of the immediate answer. A little bit of a hold on the jumper. Tully then lays a strong tackle, and we'll have the bounce. So Tilly, in a handy player. Evans with a little tap forward. Wentworth thought about handballing, goes with a kick instead. Looking for Wall, who has to push after it. Good persistence again here, and a long flying shot at goal is away to the left. Running banana from long range. 8-point lead, 6-12-48 to 6-4-40. Kick went over the top of its target, but they had support in Bourne, who then spilt the mark. Fader was the target of the kick. 10.5 minutes, ball up, centre half forward for Monbulk, who have done all the scoring in this last term and all the attacking. Can Gembrook wrestle momentum as they did at various stages in that third term? Volta was there, couldn't quite impact. There is Volta. And this suiting Monbulk just at the moment, taking some time off the clock. There's still a fair way to go. But a low-scoring arm wrestle. They lead by a goal and a half, so it's 2 goals required for Gembrook to win it. Comes through here towards Fater. Now they've got some one-on-ones. Shelton's there. It's over the back and a good mark taken there by Savoury. And it looks like he's paid. Has he paid a push for that? It certainly looked like it was fairly light in the contest. Gave a little bit of a nudge. It's either a down-the-ground free kick or a push, but certainly if he's paid a push, it didn't look like it was much. That would be a very unfortunate call for the defender, who just looked like he was a little bit stronger in the contest. Can Gembrook take advantage of that? Yes, they can. I think so. (7-4) 46 to 6-12 48. 2-point ball game, 12.5 minutes last term. Underway in Adelaide as well. Sydney 1-1-7, Port Adelaide yet to score. The majority of games, certainly in the Premier Division of this comp, fairly comfortable, with the exception of this one. This is the close affair. Monbulk straight back inside 50. Can they answer immediately? Left foot snap towards the top of the square. Good mark taken. And now they can repel. The target is Alcott. Goes up, got hands to it. Couldn't take the mark. Kept it alive. And it remains alive. It was probably a throw, but it's done Gembrook all the favours anyway. Up towards attacking 50. If they paid advantage from that, it was a free kick. They slide the hand pass in. Ferrito breaks the tackle, opens it up, snaps and goals. Been so good at breaking tackles through this game, Ferrito. And just staying upright to dispose of the ball, and he gets the left foot snap, and that was terrific play from Gembrook, just willing it forward down this broadcast wing. Interesting call down on the boundary not to take that ball out from a Monbulk point of view, to keep it alive when Alcott was the only player standing, and he was always going to be the one to take it away. And we have another lead change, 8-4 52 to 6-12 48. They've gone inside 50, no mark. All happening just at the minute. Taken out of there by Hewson, bounces it into the middle. Leschke first there, rides the bump, gets the hand pass away. Barreled kick forwards. Shelton couldn't hang on to it. Spiked down. Veet, decepted, had his hand pass cut off. Fredo jags it towards the top of the square. Bourne goes up, couldn't take the mark, and it's over for a behind. 8-5 plays 6-12. Trying to work it out slowly. They're under a bit of pressure. Taken by Bank. Snaps it out. Just running straight past the footy and taking the body, penalised for it. Beecroft takes it away down the boundary. It looks like it's going to come back. And that's actually done Monbulk no favours there at all. They were the team that was running away with advantage, and it's going to come all the way back. Ball into the middle, taken there by Brown. Goes wider. Mark not quite taken there by Hatherley. Feeds the hand pass back. They keep it alive. Quick snap inside 50 here from Monbulk, who pushed for the lead again. They found it inside to Spencer, who snaps it through. He gets his second goal, second multiple goal scorer of the game for his side, and the lead changes for the third time in the last quarter. By 1 point, it's 7-12-54, plays 8-5-53. Going to be a massive last 10 minutes. Ball up back in the middle. 54 plays 53. Monbulk go forward, but a defensive mark taken. They'll bring it towards Weller. It was an awkward kick. Trapped there by Brown. It's the hand pass through towards Spencer, who was knocked to ground. Now down towards Jenna, who's been very good in this important contest here with Shepherd. They've been two important players. Comes towards Beecroft, who's already kicked the goal in this quarter. That kick had too much on it, and it will be cut off. Done some good things, Schultz. It's up towards the wing. 18 minutes in the quarter. It'll be worth mentioning that stat again. Gembrook, 5 losses by less than 2 goals so far. Bit of a wrestle in the ruck. Play on's the call. So Volta on the ground, outpointed there as Brown. Puts it into some space. Important ball to be won. Burley picks it up. Just escapes the tackle. Squeezes a kick towards goal. And it's over for a behind. And most definitely a handy point in the context of the game. It's a 2-point margin. Meaning that Gembrook need to either score twice to draw the game or must kick a goal to win it. 19 minutes, probably about 8 minutes of actual playing time remaining based on the first 3 quarters. And that'll be holding it. Just hesitated on the hand pass and paid the price for that. Probably lucky not to be a 50-metre penalty. Beecroft not in a hurry to give that ball back. Fader's there, it comes over the back. Nice hands through, they open it up. They've got some space, they've got one-on-ones here. It's 3 one-on-ones and the mark is taken. Jenna pushing back, had the height advantage. Got the arms up and took the mark. He's kicked 1 goal, 1 so far today. As he kicks the ball, we're going to tick into time on. .35, 40 metres out. He has kicked the goal. And the lead changes for the 4th time in the last term. We've had 3 goals, 1 to 2 goals, 4 in the quarter so far. 9-5-59 to 7-13-55, 20 and a half minutes. maybe 6 minutes based on what we've seen. Quarter lengths across the first three. Snockshire with a tap in the ruck. Kicking that very high in the air was Rake. Just goes the required distance, does it? Thornton takes the mark. Moves it on and finds Hewson. Hewson brings the kick in, the mark taken, in defence again. Pushing back. Goes into the middle of the ground. Taken by Evans. Just got the hand pass away out of the pressure from that tackle. They missed Henderson there as well. They squeeze the kick wider and find Brown. Brown decides to go by hand. Back to Evans, who kept on running. Got himself into a bit of a pickle. Brown got it back. Thumps a left foot kick to the top of the square. That's a free kick to Gembrook at the top of the goal square. It'll be taken by Michael Bourne down there. We'll play it safe, go long, looking for Jenner, who was a little bit out of position. Shepherd punching it down. They work it up towards attacking 50. Now they can attack the goals. Brown drags the kick near side, well near side, and doesn't register a score. 22 minutes in the quarter. 4-point lead. Again, Weller sticking towards the boundary line. Bourne couldn't take the mark. Front and centre, Walker absorbs the tackle. Plenty of tension through the final moments. Evans wins the tap, then gets the hand pass, coughs it up on the next. Henderson's there, clever little tap. Finds Brown, who's been busy in the last few minutes, goes up towards the pocket. They almost haul in the grab. It's taken at the fall, bouncing towards goal. Kept alive. The kick from Spencer came in there. They should concede a behind here. And the umpire just looking to see if they've worked it over the line. They have, and it's a rush behind. Got very close to the player on the mark. Luckily, the kick not impacted. Ferrito again, strong in the tackle. Gave it to Fader, to Walker. Need to get it onto the boot. They do. Tilly in the air. Couldn't take the mark. Just take the tackle. Calls from the balcony where we're broadcasting to hold it in, and that's the order of the day. Tick past 24 minutes. Burley kicks it very high. Difficult ball to mark, but well done by Weller. Goes to Tilly, who takes it. Looked like he was cramping a little bit. He'll pop it over the top to Walker. Deep to the pocket. Goes towards the half-forward line. Off hands and a throw-in. Yes. 25 minutes has elapsed. Evans took it out of the ruck, barrels it into the middle of the ground. Another important ball to be won and a great mark. Certainly one of the marks of the day. Under pressure, cramping as well. I think that's certainly legitimate, not some clock management. Goes off to Weller. If they can get a mark inside 50 here, they can kill some precious time. They keep it alive. And now can they hold it in? They do. Quick on the whistle. 25 and a half minutes. You would think it would be about 2 minutes based on the length of time across the first three quarters. Ferrito Left foot snap to the top of the square. Almost a mark to Bourne. Veet. Hand passes it back. Low kick there from Rake. It hasn't cleared their offensive zone now. Eventually it does. Important pressure to be put on here. They impact the kick just enough. Lesky goes in after it. It's won here by Hewson. Goes to half forward and the intercept mark again to Werner this time. 26 and a quarter minutes. 3-point lead. Down towards the wing, goes through Shelton. Left foot kick down the line, finds a target. How many more rolls of the dice have they got? Hatherley. Towards attacking 50. Hits the deck. Gembrook win it at the fall. Left foot snap. Can they get a valuable mark here? Ferrito will happily see it over for a throw-in. Nearly 27 minutes. We are at the 3 quarters of the game. Have gone 28, 27 and 27 and a half. We are at 27 now. So we legitimately do not know how long there is to go, but we are at around about that range from the first 3 quarters. Weller goes forward. Excellent mark taken under pressure, and they'll need to go again. Launching it into the middle of the ground. No mark taken. Zigzag quickly onto the boot, and now Bourne with an open forward line. They can charge towards 50. Kick to open space, and it's cut off there by Savoury. Launches the long left foot kick. 27:40 on the clock. They take the mark. They feed it on quickly towards Shepherd. Shepherd's kick close to the boundary line. Will it stay in play for Brown? It does. He can straighten up and drive it long. Contest up the ground. No mark. It hits the deck. Taken by Lesky. Hand pass towards the boundary line. Can they kill this one here? Gembrook, they force a contest. 28 minutes has elapsed in the final term. Good work there from Waikoa to slide in low and influence it. Will it be one clearance? Is that all they need to end this, Gembrook? And can Monbulk pinch it at the same time? Hand pass comes out. They'll have another ping here. Snaps close towards goal. Just knocked across the face. That looked dangerous in the air and just defended on the line. All thrown back in, nearly 29 minutes. It's now the longest quarter of the game, which will be painful for Gembrook fans watching it. What an important 50-50 this is. Hand pass comes out. Quick snap. They probably need a mark. Goikoa, was he caught high at the bottom? No. The seconds tick away. 29-20. 59-56. 3-point game. And there it is. There was time enough only for the bounce. And Gembrook record their second win of the season, 9-5-59. Monbulk 7-14-56. A thriller on a Saturday afternoon. 2 to Jenner, including the match winner. Singles to Ferrito, Snoxel, Trott, Bourne, Shelton, Goikoa and Fater. And for Monbulk, 2 to Wentworth and Spencer. Singles to Beecroft, Barge and Evans. Gembrook record a famous 3-point victory. All here for Hillsville Greyhounds, Petter's suspension and breaks scoreboard. And they've improved to 2-8, and finally one of the close ones goes their way. As I said, 5 losses by less than 2 goals coming in, but they get the job done here. And for Monbulk, their season squares away at 5-5, but a loss with potential ramifications in terms of their run towards the finals. But it's been an excellent afternoon. Great atmosphere amongst the Gembrook faithful here. And the home side holds on to win by 3 points. 9-5-59 to 7-14-56. We'll wrap things up from Gembrook. Plenty more to come across the Game Face space. Head to your local footy hub to find out where we'll be, and contact Game Face Vision if you want your games filmed, be it milestones, finals, women's footy or the like. But signing off from Gembrook.